Hey guys, Dalacin here. I wanted to make this video for a really long time, but didn't have the opportunity to before. So this is my story of having taken the antibiotic known as clindamycin. And my story with clindamycin began about a year and 3 months ago when I had a weird allergic reaction to penicillin. I had taken penicillin for like 3 days at that point and started to get itchy all over my body. So knowing that that can be a sign of like a systemic or full body allergic reaction, which I've also had in the past, I went to the doctor, and my actual or normal doctor wasn't available, so I actually had to go to the hospital. And once the doctor in the ER saw me, he's like, yeah, it sounds like you're allergic to penicillin. No need to keep taking it. Here, let me write you a prescription for something else. I was actually anticipating he was going to write me a prescription for Dalacin, which I'd taken before with no problem, but instead, he gave me a prescription for clindamycin. So I went to the drugstore and filled the prescription. And as I was filling the prescription, the pharmacist was like, oh, well, you need to make sure that you take probiotics with this because this one can be quite hard on your stomach and your intestines. But don't worry, if you take the probiotics, you should be okay. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I bought probiotics along with the clindamycin. And about 2 days into taking the clindamycin, I had side effects like I've never experienced with any other drug or in my entire life. So the first symptom was that I had stools that were a lot bigger than usual. Like my poo was large. And I started to get kind of like stomach cramps, but it wasn't like immediate that it felt like it was a total devastation of my guts. It just gradually got worse and worse though, the longer I took it. So by day 8 of taking the clindamycin out of 10, I believe, or 14, an hour, or not even an hour, maybe a half hour after I take the drug, I get like wrenching stomach and gut pain, and it felt like my intestines were churning, and I was having these large mucousy stools. And so I was like, I can't, and I was nauseous, and I had heartburn. I was like, I can't do this anymore. There's something really wrong with this crap. So again, my doctor wasn't available, so I called the pharmacist and said, like, I'm having like some really bad stomach pain and intestinal difficulties because of this drug. What should I do? And he's like, well, you've taken it now for 8 days, so your strep throat is probably gone if you don't have a, if your throat's not hurting, so you can just stop taking it, and your stomach should start to feel better in like 3 days. And I was like, oh, thank God, because I can't live like this. I'm in so much pain, and then I can't eat normally, and I've never felt so horrible in my stomach and guts in my entire life. So unfortunately, what ended up happening is I didn't really get better. Like the stomach pain, the upper stomach pain went away, and the heartburn mostly went away, but the churning in my guts and the inflammation, it felt like, and mucus and problems with my stools didn't go away for over a year. Okay, a year. And I don't know if any of you know what it's like to have intestinal problems or diarrhea on and off for an extended period of time, but it's hell. You can't function normally. I'd never know if I'd be like working at the computer and I'd be doubled over suddenly with like cramping pain. And I guess what I'm going to tell you now is how I got better. So I did go back to the doctor multiple times because clindamycin is associated with an infection known as C. difficile. And it's actually quite common in Quebec. So it's just a bacteria actually that's sometimes even naturally present in our bodies that the good bacteria in our intestines keep under control. But when you take clindamycin, it kills not only the bad bacteria in your body, because it was very efficient at doing that to me. Like I had no infections left, and I haven't had actually any infections since that were bacterial. But it kills all the flora, the intestinal flora, the microbiota of your intestines. And that has like devastating effects on your ability to properly digest food and to keep the bad bacteria like C. difficile at low levels. So they tested my stool 3 times because I kept having recurrent bouts of diarrhea that would last for at least like 10 days at a time, and they kept not finding C. difficile. So I was lucky, because there are some people that take clindamycin, get C. difficile, and then die. And I am lucky that that didn't happen to me, or they get enlarged colons. There are medications to treat C. difficile, but there's this new kind of school of thought and experience that is now being explained, that people who never had any digestive problems before suddenly have irritable bowel syndrome or ulcerative colitis, and it's not caused by C. difficile, but rather, like I said, by the fact that their microbiota or biota or intestinal flora has been permanently changed by having taken this drug. And this drug is a serious drug, is something I had wanted to say before as well. Like, do not take clindamycin unless it's life or death, because for me, it ruined my life. You know, I'm not entirely, because I was still very productive last year. Nobody would really know I was that sick, but it screwed me up for over a year. And I will never take it again. I will try penicillin, quite honestly, again, because all I got was itching before I would ever resort to that. It was a complete and utter nightmare. So I was supposed to explain to you how I got better. So I didn't have C. difficile. They were gonna do a colonoscopy on me, but then I kind of got better, but then I'd get worse. Like, that was what was so weird about the whole thing, is that I get 2 steps forward, 3 steps backward for this whole period of a year. And I didn't want to have a colonoscopy and have them go in there and not find anything and take the risk of having a colonoscopy if it wasn't necessary. And I felt firmly, after reading up on intestinal flora online and other people who've had the same problem, that what was going on is that I needed to get my bacteria levels back to normal in my intestines, and I needed to eat a different diet for a period of time to get my intestines to heal and relax. So how I healed from the damage that the clindamycin did was I drank this kefir substance called BioK. It's a fermented milk that has like lots and lots, like 50 billion bacterium in the individual shots. It's about $3 a bottle in Quebec. And I took that for 2 weeks straight. I quit drinking coffee. I quit drinking alcohol. I ate less sweet, and I ate more meat and broccoli and rice. And over time, that's what healed me. So after not drinking coffee or alcohol for 2 months, I am happy to report that, well, I started drinking again recently because I'm better. I got better. But it took me taking the probiotic drinks and quitting coffee and alcohol and eating a slightly different diet for a period. Some people call it the GAPS diet. I did a kind of a modified version of what's known as the GAPS diet. And I got better. So if you are going through pain, intestinal pain, bouts of diarrhea with mucus and all this like crazy shit, and it gets better and then it gets worse, take your kefir, take your probiotic drinks. The pills didn't benefit me that much. Oh, the other pill, sorry, I forgot one more pill I took though. The probiotic pills didn't really help me that much, though the drink did, but there's another probiotic called saccharomyces boulardii, and that absolutely helped me recover as well, because they actually fight bad bacteria in your intestine, but they're different than the lactobacilli that you find in like kefir and whatnot. And modifying my diet. So if you have had problems with your intestines or your digestion after taking clindamycin, please talk to me in the comment section, and I'll see if I can help you and give you recommendations and tell you about the message boards and Facebook groups that I joined. So that's it. So this has been more of like a serious video about like my serious health problem last year, but knock on wood, I'm a healed woman. Thank goodness. I'm never taking that again unless it's absolutely dire.